Hi, Tony Phillips here from Medical Sales Training. I hope you're enjoying the videos and the blog so far and you're getting some useful tips that can help you with your sales results. In today's video, I'd like to discuss awareness and focus and how these two elements impact on our listening skills. Before we go any further, how's your awareness? There's a little video that I like to use in sales training, and I know it gets used by many trainers. But let's check it out and have our own little awareness test. Tell me what you think.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Go!
So how'd you go? Did you see the bear? You know, an amazing 40 to 50% of people in the research with that study didn't see the bear. And that's because their awareness is not there. Now, when the brain is watching something and seeing something that it's expecting to see, it finds it very, very difficult to focus on other areas and can often miss the most obvious things if they're unexpected. Now, this happens in sales calls regularly. And I'm working with sales reps in the field, and we go into sales calls and they don't listen. Not because they're not working hard, they're working very hard. And they're really focused generally on the questions. In a couple of cases I've seen where they haven't listened to the surgeon, it's actually ruined the rapport they would have had. So we've gone into a call and come out of it worse off than when we started. The sales cycle, the sales process is a very complex process. We have the planning, relationships, rapport stage, discovery stage, asking insightful questions, uncovering needs, showing value and really helping the customer, confirming the sale and getting the business, handling objections, and then support. In medical sales, crucial because our customers are there for a long time. And listening is important in nearly all of those stages. So when you go into a sales call, there's a lot happening and we need to have our awareness on at its top game. One of the areas that it often falls down is listening. So we have to get that balance between focus on what we're trying to do, but also awareness when we're listening. Don't let listening suffer. Now, there are a couple of rules I'm going to put up here about listening. You may have heard them before, but I think it's worth the reminder. When we're listening, we need to stop talking. Okay? You can't talk and listen at the same time. As some of my old sporting coaches used to always say, Tony, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that proportion. Number 2, create a space. I mean a physical space, but also a mental space. Let listening happen without being crowded out. Hold your judgments. How many times have you been in a situation where you're listening to someone tell you something and already you're going to the next step, making assumptions and judgments, only to find out later when you have more information that you're completely wrong? Don't be a label reader when we're talking to someone, when we're listening with someone. Don't assume you know that person. Don't assume that they might be arrogant or they don't know what they're talking about. Listen and hear what they've got to say with an open mind. And opening your mind, again, that's crucial. And what I mean by that is sometimes people say things that don't make sense to you. And then you have to open your mind and take that on board. Lose your foundation for what you know is right and what isn't right. And sometimes you can come up with a great new solution or a great new idea. Focus when we're listening. This is important. Maintaining eye contact, understanding the physical space and what the other person is doing in front of you. Summarizing if you haven't heard everything right, asking questions to clarify a certain point. Some people like to visualize. If you're a visual person, it's a great idea. When you're listening, visualize what they're saying so it can have more of a meaningful impact to you. When we're listening to people, remember names. Something that I struggle with sometimes. But really repeat the name to yourself before you go in and prepare yourself. Question. If you're not sure what's going on, question. Before you go in, have some questions in your mind so that when you're listening, they might come up a little bit easier and then you can get more information. But don't be thinking about the questions completely when you're listening, of course. And be aware. Be aware of your surroundings, the body language, and how what they're saying ties in with where you are in that context. Okay, so these are a couple of things. You may have already heard them before, you may already know them, but if you want to succeed and become a top sales performer, you need to listen really well. Thanks very much for your time today. I hope you've got something out of this video. See you next time.